Alright, good morning TikTok. We've got a Hyundai in. This vehicle's come from another workshop, had an alternator replaced, and apparently it's still not charging, not running right. Now I believe it's not running right because the battery is absolutely spanked and it has no charge rate going back. We've got a battery light on the dash along with a check engine light. We've got very annoying beeps coming from inside the car as well. So I'm going to start checking out what's going on. Now this is a Valeo alternator there, so it isn't an OE alternator. First thing I've done is get the part numbers, and before I do too much, I'm going to confirm that it is correct for the vehicle. Alright, so alternator is unplugged. We have the same charge rate plugged in and unplugged, so it's at 11.7. Vehicle's not charging, it's just running off the jump pack that's sitting on there. I'm going to check what we've got going on these two wires here, pull up some wiring diagrams, and go from there. The other thing I am going to test is the main battery feed. So we're just going to get a long test light up in there, high amp test light, touch that, make sure that that wire is okay. Alright, so basics, high amp test lights, just about 4.5 amp test light, hooked up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch this. It's hooked to ground if I can catch it, so we're hooked to ground. I'm going to touch this to the actual alternator stud, hopefully without ripping my hand to pieces in there. There we go. So I'm on the wire, and as you can see, we've got no light coming at all. Now whether this battery cable has failed or whatever's going on there, that should be able to light our high amp test light. So we're going to go back up and check some fuses out in the fuse box and go from there. Alright, so continuing with the high amp test light up the top, alternator fuse, Hyundai 150 amp. So as you can see, lights on that side of the terminal, lights on the nut. Go to our alternator fuse, and she's not happy, so we've got a blown alternator fuse. Actually doesn't look very blown, but let's see if we can get one first, and that should sort our charging issue on this one. I'm assuming they most likely, or whoever's done this, hasn't disconnected the battery. When they've changed it, shorted out, blown the fuse, because they don't blow for no reason. Alright, so you'll have to excuse the hold time, I'm waiting for parts, but one last check on this is we want to check if that cable is shorted to ground anywhere. So what we're going to do, we're going to hook up the battery positive, and this will cover us down to the alternator. When we touch the ground, our test light will light, and we want to just check if, there we go, we have a short anywhere, which we do not. So as you'll see, I'll touch the ground, test light lights, and I go on the other side of that blown fuse, we have no light. So we're going to be able to install a fuse in this and not worry about it blowing again.